We done had so much fun with PG podcast Paul George. I didn't even waste my time watching his podcast. But I had, sometimes when I'm doing my YouTubes and I'm just kind of viewing or I'm getting inspired by a subject, something just infiltrates and comes by me. This one happened to have DeAndre Jordan when he was on there. And I'm late. I don't know how late I am. Anyway, Paul George was doing podcasting because he wasn't playing or nothing as usual. But anyway, in the podcast, DeAndre Griffin said, DeAndre Jordan, because I can't even say names right no more. DeAndre Jordan said that if Blake Griffin came out today, and I think Paul George and them were echoing, they said he'd be worth $500 million. Am I right? So it's funny. I just had a Sean Kemp video flowed my way where Sean Kemp was actually talking about him. And he said those dunks, which were nice, he said they weren't my dunks. He said, because I did backwards, forwards like I was doing. Kemp actually did real dunks. Blake just lobby dunked it. So they Lob City was not better than Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. And if Blake Griffin was worth $500 million, then I guess that means Sean Kemp was worth $750 million. That means Steph Curry would be worth 1.5 billion. Because remember, Blake Griffin was drafted number 1 in 2009. He was 6 spots higher than Steph Curry. How did that turn out? Steph Curry got more rings than Blake Griffin got rounds in postseason. Let that sink in. Oh yeah, we know before Mac did that dunk or jump of the car. We saw Blake Griffin with the choir doing "I Believe I Can Fly," but that was his highlight. Injured and considered soft because he couldn't shoot. He was a one-trick pony. $500 million. Cats be saying the wildest things. I know the video is old. You can look it up on the podcast P. Type it in with DeAndre Jordan, but it came on my feeder and I couldn't help it because it was a short clip. I couldn't help but cracking up when they said $500 million. I'm like, they be throwing numbers out. I'm like, if you're gonna give him $500 million for his dunking, then you got to give Vince Carter like $3 billion. Jordan gets $2.5 billion. And in-game dunking, Sean Kemp will get $1 billion. If you're gonna go by that logic, if we're gonna use that as a criteria, Dominique Wilkins will be getting $2 billion. If we go, I mean, come on now. We can't be saying no mess like this guy